So not too long ago, I reviewed the TXQ Luke ROTJ lightsaber. ROTJ stands for Return of the Jedi. This was a character replica lightsaber based on the one Luke Skywalker built in Tatooine. And it's a very close approximation to the filming prop with minor differences in the way the rings are on the grip section. The original actually had mismatched ring sizes. The design was closer to the hilt we see Luke use in The Mandalorian. It also had a quick release chassis for the Profi electronics, which made battery charging or changing easy. This was nice, clean with brushed dark aluminum that gave it a nice brand new look. But in universe, Luke's version was actually more worn and battle scarred. So today you'll want to stick around because we're taking a look at the weathered version of the Luke ROTJ. Greetings, knowledge seekers. The Force is with you. I'm Priyon Joni and you're watching Lightsaber Culture. Today, we're checking out the weathered version of the Luke ROTJ in NeoPixel V4 from CXSABER. I want to give a huge thank you to CXSABER for sending this lightsaber to check out so we can deep dive on the features together. Use my discount code PriyonJoni to get 10% off this or any lightsaber from CXSABER. If you end up enjoying this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. It'll help me make more saber content for you here on Lightsaber Culture. On the CXSABER website, this comes in 3 electronic tiers. Baselit RGB, NeoPixel V4, which is the SN Pixel 4.0, and top tier Profi. The version I had on my original Luke ROTJ is the Profi version. This weathered one that I have over here is the NeoPixel V4, the SN Pixel 4.0. I know the wording can be confusing, but Profi and NeoPixel V4 are both NeoPixel types with blades that contain pixel-controlled LEDs. Baselit models, however, shine the light from the hilt into an empty blade tube. Fun fact, both the Profi and NeoPixel V4 versions feature the easy quick-release chassis, and they are interchangeable. I can take the Profi board from my original Luke ROTJ and swap it into the weathered one and vice versa. If you already have a Luke ROTJ loaded with a Profi board in another chassis, you could simply go for the more affordable NeoPixel V4 with your new one and swap the boards whenever you wish. You'll save money that way, they just have to be an identical chassis. The medium tier SN Pixel 4.0 board gives you basic NeoPixel features and controls, while the Profi gives you the most advanced animations and programming potential. RGB baselit version starts at $269.99. NeoPixel V4, which is the SN Pixel 4.0, goes for $349.99, and the top tier Profi goes for $479.99. Now the difference in price between the non-weathered and weathered version is only $20 more with the baselit, and no difference at all with the pixel tiers. So you can get a fully weathered lightsaber at little to no additional cost. The price on CXSABER might vary depending on their specials. Now I covered most of the features of this lightsaber in my review with the original Luke ROTJ, which you can watch over here. For this video, we're going to focus on the weathering and a few minor differences. So throughout most of the saber, instead of smooth brushed aluminum, there is a two-toned wear and scratches throughout all of the hilt. You can especially see it here on the pommel. And this is a very Star Wars look where you can see the edges are lighter than the flat surfaces. You can see this down to the speaker grill, the control box, around the neck portion, the sides of the emitter, as well as the top. Now I should point out the grip portion where the rings are doesn't have any weathering. They look really clean. They still have that smooth brushed aluminum look. The overall weathering on this lightsaber looks really good, but keep in mind, it's not an exact match to how Luke's lightsaber looks in the film. His saber has really big scratches on it that define the prop's character. This is more of a medium weathering that still fulfills the Star Wars worn aesthetic that looks great on camera, but also leaves you room to take it farther if you wish. I may consider running some sandpaper over the grip portion myself, which would be a great project to get my feet wet with basic weathering. When I first picked up the saber, it was delivered in cold weather, and the metal felt like textured ice or metal from condensation, but it's really the texture of the weathering job. Now, outside of the electronics, there are a few differences to the build versus the non-weathered version. Starting with the triangle D-ring right here. The weathered version is much smaller. See, check this out right there. This is more consistent with 2 of the 4 variations from Return of the Jedi, with the other 2 being an O shape and D shape. A smaller D-ring would also make it help dangle less when hanging it on a belt clip. Also, there's a difference when you're twisting the pommel shut in terms of how the D-ring lines up with the control box. In the film, all 4 versions line up or closely line up to the same side as the control box. If you're cosplaying, you generally want the D-ring to be on the opposite side of the control box to prevent it from poking you. The non-weathered version is exactly that. Here's the control box. D-ring is exactly on the opposite side. The weathered version is actually near a perpendicular angle from the control box. In fact, it's not a perfect 90 degrees. It's actually closer to 100 degrees. So here's the control box. Look at the angle of the D-ring. And once again, here is the unweathered version. It's on opposite sides. Now, it's not a terrible angle since it still faces the box away, but it's not as far as the non-weathered version goes. What's nice about this angle is if you're cosplaying, this angling shows off the side of the control box with the lights. Now, one of the things that I really love about the build quality of the non-weathered version is how it felt with its threading. It felt like it was built with precision. Each part of the saber, from the speaker grill to the emitter, the grip, all the way to the top, it would all screw on and off really smooth. You don't feel any grinding or any heavy squeaking. And when you're closing it, there's a perfect stop to where everything angles up just perfectly. It's not a squeeze into that position, it just stops. And not all lightsabers are built like that. Now with the weathered version, the speaker grill, it's smooth. The emitter, that too. And same goes for the neck. But when you get to the pommel, the full pommel, I feel a tiny bit of resistance. And when you twist off the grip portion, you hear a little bit of that grinding. So I opened it up to take a closer look at the threading, and I think I know what's going on. Whatever process they did to apply the weathering also mildly affected the threading. Not in any damaging way, but it just doesn't have the same smoothness as the non-weathered version. Now, I know you can remedy this with lubricants. Let me know in the comments if that's something you want to see me try. I would probably start with something non-abrasive like Deoxit. Now, before we get to the electronics, let's check out what comes in the box. So this saber came in a really nice box with Arabish characters. Even the texture of this has a little detail to it. It's not the flimsy, thin type of boxes that easily rip. We have our acrylic display stand, which we've seen before with TXQ-based sabers. This is not the stand that it comes with. This is my Disney stand that I use with all my lightsabers. So we'll put this away for now. It comes with 2 screen accurate pieces, which is the emitter cover and the pommel tip that replaces the speaker grill. In universe, there's no hole for the blade hole or the speaker grill. It's just clean with this little syringe looking thing on the top. And both of these are weathered, by the way. Take a look at that. And there's the pommel cover. We have our electronics manual. If you ever get lost with the buttons, this is where you go. And we have our toolkit, and with it, it includes the lithium battery charger, along with an Allen key and set screws, and also a blade plug, which I would imagine is not really necessary if you already have the cap. And with that comes a 32-inch dual-ready NeoPixel blade. Now you might think this is it, but wait. When I first got the box delivered, it was huge. It was actually this box, and I thought it came with 2 lightsabers in it. Within that box was also packaged a 3-latch carrying case for your lightsaber. And this is everything it comes with. Now, like I said earlier, the electronics used is a special quick-release chassis, which you can interchange with the other Profi one. Just make sure the chassis are identical. The specific one here does not have a USB Type-C charging port. That's why it comes with the battery charger. Now let's put on the blade. All right, now if you're following along in the manual, You're going to be looking under the SNV4 controls, specifically under the 2 button controls labeled power/aux. The power and auxiliary buttons are this rocker switch right here, the black switch underneath the LEDs. Power is towards the LED and auxiliary is right below it. Now the SNV4 is Bluetooth control capable, similar to the XenoPixel V3. For the SNV4 boards, you'll need to download the Force Park app. Now the app is still under development, so it doesn't work perfectly yet. But once it does, it'll give you the ability to change your settings without the board buttons. But what I actually love about this 2-button control is that it parodies well between the Profi version and the SNV4. It has gesture controls, including ignition and retraction. And you can also use the power button to tap it to go on or to go off. So to do the volume, you just click both of the buttons and you can go hit the power button to go up or tap the aux button to go down. And then just click both again to get out of volume control. Now with the blade on, you do have flash on clash. You have smooth swing. You have blaster deflect when you tap the aux button. Blade lockup is when you hold the aux button and then strike. Oh, that looks so cool. You probably can't see it on camera, but it's strobing in white in the middle. Then just click it again to turn it off. You can change the color by holding it down and twisting. And one of the cool things about the SN Pixel is you can toggle all 12 solid colors for every single action of toggling. Now, if you do the same gesture of holding down aux and twisting, it does force effects. And in total, there are 11 different ignition effects and 9 blade effects, which you can customize for each sound font. And there's a total of 27 sound fonts, which you can change using the 32GB micro SD card, which the board comes with. Now, let's bring this outside. So yeah, this is another great replica lightsaber. Probably better as a display and cosplay piece. For spinning, it's okay, but like most replicas, not the most comfortable in your hands, especially when you get pinched right here, which can make it a little difficult to go fast. Once again, big thanks to CXSABER for sending this. My affiliate discount code is down below. If you want to check out the non-weathered version, watch this over here. Or if you want to improve your lightsaber spinning technique, watch this footwork video now.